Live streaming. Okay. Hi, everybody. It is lovely to see everybody. I haven't seen everyone in person years, so it's lovely to see you all. We are live streaming, so just so you know. Let's see, let's get going. So first off, I have a couple agendas around if anybody wants to see it. I'm going to do a round of introductions first, then we'll dive in. When we do the first round of introductions, we have a few new people. For now, just say your name and organization, and then we'll give you a chance to introduce yourself, and then you can have a little longer to speak. Well, let's see. All right, so in case you don't all know, I'm Emily Flynn. I'm the Director of Health and Wellness for the City of Kingston. I use she, her pronouns, and it's lovely to see you all. I'm gonna have Zoomers go first, and then I'm gonna come to people in the room. So Kristen, do you want to introduce yourself? We have to listen to it on the laptop, unfortunately, so listen, make your ears big.
Hi, my name is Kristen Kessler. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a project manager for the City of Kingston, currently on parental leave, but coming back in a few weeks. And I feel like I see Marcia smiling over there, and I'm so excited to see her again soon. And then I can pass it to Malia.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Malia Dumont, coming to you from Bard College across the river. I live in Kingston, and I think I've been on the commission for 3 years now. Can't quite remember, but nice to see everyone. And I will pass it to, I guess Tara is the remaining Zoomer. Oh, and I go by she, her.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tara Sanders. My pronouns are she, her. Just really thankful to be here. I've done a lot of collaboration with Emily and Live Well Kingston throughout the years. I am a Woodstock native, born and raised. I have my own LLC. I'm a trauma-informed yoga educator. I've been working with the Crime Victims Assistance Program in Ulster County since 2017. Community organizer. I work in the schools. I do a lot of consulting with nonprofits. And most recently, I was at the YWCA for the last 2 years and just stepped down from that post to go back to school. So thankful to be here.
Thank you so much. And Maya, I see you've joined us. Do you want to do just a quick introduction of your name and where you're coming from? And then we'll come back and let you do a longer introduction. Do you feel ready? You're muted if you're talking.
Hi, sorry, I was doing Zoom meetings and all of a sudden it got very dark in this room. So it's nice to see everyone. I'm Maya Hambright. I work at Nuvance. I'm a physician. I work in addiction medicine primarily. I'm currently affiliated with Samadhi, like I'm their medical person. And yeah, it's good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, I'm going to have the people in the room introduce. If you've never used these microphones before, the red light means it's muted. There's a little button here. You just click it to talk and try to remember. It's actually pretty easy. But so let's go this way. Cindy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Cindy Muro with the Grow Well Kingston group. Is that good enough? No, that's fine. I'm representing Grow Well today.
We can't hear anything if someone's talking.
Oh, you can't. Could you not hear Heidi? You can hear me though. Heidi, would you try it for me once more and speak a little closer?
Oh, this one's working here.
Oh, thank you. I've got everyone throwing their microphones at me. Okay, my name, much better. Good afternoon. My name is Heidi Kirschner. Pronouns are she, her, Aya. And I am with the YMCA of Kingston and Ulster County.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Susanna Callahan with the Institute for Family Health. I'm a commissioner on Live Well Kingston and also on the Heal Well Focus team. And hi, Maya. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
I'm Teresa Whitman, and I am a sound healing practitioner in the area. I had a yoga studio in Uptown, and I'm here representing Heal Well.
Well, so I'm Vicki Gore. I'm Vice President of Business Services with Gateway Hudson Valley, and I just joined the Age Well group yesterday.
Okay, so my name is Katie Sheehan Lopez. I use she, her pronouns. I am the regional farm to school coordinator at Cornell Cooperative Extension. And the chair of Eat Well, for the record.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marcia Sebro. I'm a project manager with the Health and Wellness Department here at the City of Kingston. It's great to see everybody in person. I know, I feel like I'm gonna resist the urge to try out some new material with this microphone. I'm just gonna pass it along.
Good afternoon, Eric Muse, captain at the Salvation Army here in Kingston. Nice to meet everyone today.
Hello, everybody. I'm Troy Ellen Dixon. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I am chair of the Live Well Kingston Commission.
Hi, is it working? I'm Katrina Williams. I'm the Deputy Commissioner at the Ulster County Department of Mental Health, and I use she or they pronouns. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. So it is funny, right? It sort of adds like a formal element to our meeting to do these. So thanks for, exercising our microphone muscles here and using them a little bit. I see that Sarah has joined us. Sarah, do you mind unmuting and introducing yourself?
Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Brainerd. I am a Travel Well subgroup kind of chair and Green Line committee member on the Kingston Land Trust side, former chair of the Kingston Land Trust, current board member. And hello, all the new faces that I can kind of see.
Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. So, yeah. You mean the voices of the people on Zoom? No. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That might start making reverb. You're reading lips. Nice. Yeah. Oh, and a reminder to people on Zoom, I can't see you if you put up your hand, like the icon. So unmute and yell.
Okay, Emily, just so we can hear you, but whoever was talking to you just now, we could not hear them.
Okay. So I think that they're hearing us better when we talk a little bit closer to the mic. We're learning, we're figuring this out. Also, it's maybe a good moment just to say it's unusual that we're meeting in this room. We want to do this as a special meeting tonight because we're trying to have like kind of all the focus teams do shorter presentations. The next couple of months, we'll probably meet in conference room 2 and we'll have, there's screens that are just like this and it has a microphone involved and we won't have to do this setup. So for goods or for bads, we'll be in a smaller space next time. I just want to explain that a little bit. Okay, so we have a quorum, I'm fairly certain, with it, which we haven't had in a long time. So let's do a little bit of administrative stuff and then we'll move on to welcoming our applicants and guests. So I have copies of the meeting minutes if any of the commissioners would like to review quickly. I sent these out. Troy Ellen helped me out with some of the Roberts rules about it. And I believe that what I can say is I can ask for, ask for any corrections to them. And then I can ask if, I'm going to try and ask if we can approve them all at once. So without a motion, correct me if I'm misspeaking it in any of this. Yeah, okay, great. So commissioners, did anyone have any corrections to any of the meeting minutes? It's from April, May, June, September, and October. All right, hearing none, I think that, so then what was the language, Troy Ellen? The minutes have been distributed. Are there any corrections? If there's no corrections, then I can say the minutes are approved as distributed. And I don't think we have to do a motion, right? It just feels awkward to not do a motion. I'm so used to it. Consent agenda. I don't exactly know what that means. Okay, sure. Okay. Great. Then I think then we can move through that very quickly. Unless anyone has any questions about the meeting minutes, I think we're good. Okay, great. So now we're at sort of the fun part, which is welcoming some new people. We have had 4 applicants. Vicky and Eric are with us here in person. Where are they? I have them in front of me. And then I believe that it was Maya and Tara, and I believe that everyone is joined us either virtually or in person. So usually what the commission does is welcomes you here, gives you a moment to introduce yourself and say anything that you'd like to about why you're interested in the commission if you'd like, or if just anything about in your personal or professional lives that you'd like to make known. It's really just a chance for the commission to say hi. If you don't mind, I'll do Eric and Vicky, and then I'll go to the folks on Zoom. Eric, take us away. How would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, thank you so very much. Again, my name is Eric Muse, and I'm a captain with the Salvation Army. My wife and I just moved here in July from East Harlem, where we were for the past 1.5 years serving the community. Pretty much every day through the pandemic, we were able to give out food Monday through Friday to those individuals living on the street and those in need just walking by. We were assigned to Kingston, and we were excited as we have just started a new family as of 5 weeks ago. Our son Judah was born in October 11th. So he's at home with mom right now, who's on maternity leave, and she's looking forward to coming back this week as we have our Thanksgiving distribution on Friday, where we'll be helping over 60 families with a Thanksgiving meal. And thanks to some generous donors that we didn't have to pay for any of it. We were able to get food boxes and whole-size chickens, so that way we could give those out for Thanksgiving. A little bit about myself. I graduated from Malone University, which is in Canton, Ohio, so a little further away than here. But I spent my time there in the field of community health education, and that's a place I feel really drawn to. Public health is also how it's referred to. But at Malone, it just became a university my last year there. So I say I was there as I attended Malone College, but I graduated from Malone University because I had to see them through to make sure everything went okay in the transition. From there, I've worked with the Salvation Army now since 2007. I originally started working at our summer camps way back in the year 2000. The Salvation Army has summer camps all over the Northeast United States, and I've done everything from washing pots and pans to being the assistant nurse. So I have a great love for kids and the outdoors when it comes to the summertime, and we'll be passing out about 100 flyers this year to get kids from Kingston to join us at our summer camp, which is located in Bloomingdale, New Jersey, Star Lake Camp. And it's a week free away in the woods having fun. So I'm just so grateful. I saw the mayor's email about this commission, and I thought for myself personally and representing the Salvation Army that this would be a great fit for us, and that way we could help so many more people through our work.
Thank you so much, Eric. Vicky, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, so again, I'm Vicky Gore, Vice President of Business Services with Gateway Hudson Valley. I am a longtime Kingstonian, went to Kingston High School. I've been with Gateway for almost 14 years now, and we have had the contract with Ulster County since 2015 for the senior meal program. So we've been serving seniors since then. And and actually today I'm a little tired. We had, we catered an office for the aging Thanksgiving luncheon up in Napanoch today. And through the COVID pandemic, we partnered with the City of Kingston and with Office for the Aging to provide food to different populations who were suffering from food insufficiency. And I saw the Live Well committee, and specifically the Age Well and Eat Well focus groups. And so I just have an interest in those groups, just really with what I do. And that's it.
Thank you so much. All right. So, hey, Tara, and then, oh yeah, go ahead, Marcia. Hi, Deborah. We're going to put you on the spot. Do you want to introduce yourself in any way to the group? No. Okay. Thank you for coming. All right. So Tara and Maya, Tara, do you want to go first? Do you want to introduce yourself in any way? Unfortunately, again, it's on the laptop, so we'll just have to try to listen.
Sure. It's Tara, just to clarify. So my name is Tara Sanders, born and raised in Ulster County. I live in Woodstock, New York. Just knowing what I know about this commission and this committee is just really important for me to be of service to my community. I've always served in a multitude of ways. So this just kind of seems like one of the natural next steps for me, having just left my job at the WCA. And yeah, I mean, I think given some of the initiatives, I spoke with Marcia briefly via email about Playwell, wanting to really expand access, both to trauma-informed things, as Katrina, who's on the committee, knows. I'm part of Integrated Ulster, so we have our Trauma-Informed Care Collaborative, and just giving people the opportunity to practice resiliency building skills and mindfulness, and just all of the information that's coming out. It's nothing new, but there's just a lot more attention to mindfulness and breathing and yoga. So really want to help support and spearheading that and access to community resources. Personally, I went to Auntie Eora, left for many years. Actually, quite honestly, never thought I would move back to the area, just given my own kind of childhood trauma and adversity. But given the fact that I did, was like, we gotta, work with what we have. So have just spearheaded a lot of programs for both single mothers with Drew through the SPICE initiative. All throughout COVID, I worked with kids both in preschool age all the way up through high school in both the Kingston and Auntie Eora Central School District. I've worked with veterans. I've had the opportunity to serve those going through mental health crises and addiction as well. So definitely kind of have a lot of experience just working with folks, and just thankful and happy for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. And how about Maya?
I have a suggestion. Could you turn on the closed captioning? Maybe that would.
Ooh,
like, if we
Katie's
could
given us
see
a
it.
great idea. Katie, do you know how to turn on the closed captioning? Yeah. So pause for just a second, Maya. More maybe?
Maybe I don't know how to do it.
It's not showing up. I know there's different versions of Zoom. This is like probably I think it's like I have no idea what version it is. But yeah, thank you. So Katie, was a great idea. Yeah. Okay. So Maya, do you want to introduce yourself in any way to the group?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I can add that I moved here, I don't know, about 22 years ago to go to the residency program at the Institute. So, I've been seeing, it's really nice now. There are some patients that I've been seeing since I was a first year resident, that have lived in the Ulster County, Kingston area. I raised my 2 daughters in Woodstock.
Maya, is it possible for you to speak closer to your computer? We might be able to hear you better.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Let me see if there's how's that? Okay.
It's going to be, I think, what it is. So yeah, continue away.
Okay. No, I just, want to say that I've been working here and living here and have my family here for, over 20 years. And it's just really important for me to be involved and also being able to, make recommendations for my own patients, for, just so that, we can all live the healthiest lives, as possible. And having resources and community resources is so very important. And it's very important for me as primary care, to be able to be involved and to be able to have these, just have the information.
All right. Well, again, thank you to our 4 guests tonight. Usually what the commission has done in the past is at the end of the meeting, we go into executive session and the commission will vote to decide who they recommend to the mayor. This is part of my spiel. The mayor has never declined one of our recommendations, but that is part of the process. So when we're done with our sort of formal agenda, we'll thank everyone for coming and then go into executive session. Any questions for our guests, commissioners? Anybody have anything that they want to follow up with them? Now's the time to ask any questions.
I'll just say, I mean, you all are so incredibly interesting and doing wonderful things in the community that I kind of just want to have a long conversation with all of you to learn more, but I don't want to take up all of our scheduled time. So to me, you've all demonstrated great interest and commitment to the community. And so I don't have any further questions, but I didn't want a lack of questions to indicate lack of interest in what you're doing. I'm just really impressed. So thank you for applying to join us.
Thank you so much, Malia. Malia's thanking them for coming. Susanna, did you have a question? So Susanna's asking if I've told you about the responsibilities. My thought was to, I think I've sent some stuff to you. My thought was that this would be nice as a class sort of coming in, that I could send you all the bylaws all at once. So you could see them. The ask right in this moment is a 2-year term. You can, of course, step down at any time. We'd like to try to have a 2-year term. What else do I need to tell them? What's that? Yeah, I think I've told them all that. It's a once a month meeting. That's really the biggest commitment. In January, we'll ask for chairs for the commission, but there's not even that much of a, I'm looking at Troy Ellen because Troy Ellen's the chair, and I don't think it's a huge commitment even to be chair for this group.
No, it's not a huge commitment. It's basically ceremonial in many ways, though I have assisted with the drafting and writing of letters and things like that. But Emily provides great staff support, so.
Thank you for that. But any questions? Anybody who's applied have any questions about Live Well, about what the terms are like, what the work is like? Don't have to have any questions. I can always answer them later. Okay. I'm not seeing any waves. Any other thoughts about that part of our agenda? Otherwise, we'll move on to focus team presentations. I don't see anybody waving me down. I feel like I'm like in a car. I'm like looking out my side view mirrors here. All right, so we're coming to, I think, which is going to be the fun part of our meeting. We're going to do sort of a focus team meeting presentations. They, I think, are in alphabetical order. So we're going to start with Age Well. If Marcia doesn't mind, I'll have you go. I didn't calculate how much time. So so it's 4:30. We have an hour to do. This is the meat of our meeting. So let's do like 15 minutes at the most. 15, 30, 60. No, let's 10 minutes. Yeah.
Hi again. So I'm going to discuss Age Well. Just to give some highlights, I had a longer presentation on Age Well at last month's meeting. I don't know that I'm going to use all of my 10 minutes, and I'd like to give those to the next presenter. Oh, great. So our Age Well focus team has met 8 times this year, including our November meeting, which was yesterday. Participating members include staff from the Ulster County Office of the Aging, seniors settling in place known as SIPs, Ellenville Regional Rural Health Network, and Kingston residents. The current action plan from 2021 really focused on responding to the needs of seniors during COVID. And the focus was about disseminating information regarding vaccination, food security, and supporting seniors in accessing the internet. Goals that have been met on the current action plan include growing membership. We achieved this. We actually have had 6 new members come into the collective this year, including Vicky Gore, who joined us yesterday. Of these members representing organizations, 2 are local, who are not representing organizations are local residents. As is Vicky. And we are continuing to expand the Cyber Seniors program, which involves getting donated computers, sending them further upstate, having them wiped and reprogrammed, and bringing them out to community centers and sort of supervising that. Opportunities in the coming year involve in the expansion of some successful no-cost wellness programs that currently exist within Ulster County, and bringing those services to our Midtown seniors. They include the Chronic Disease Self-Management Program, which is sponsored through Office of the Aging, the Arthritis Foundation Walking with Ease walking groups, which I will lead and encourage leadership to take that over. And also in Age Well, started a new partnership with the holistic health community out in Marbletown to bring some therapeutic sessions and movement classes to Midtown. Age Well is just an awesome group, and everyone works really hard. Yep. Sorry. So, yeah. Are there any questions? Got anything?
Can you send this as Sarah?
Thank you. Say that again, Sarah. What's that?
Hello. For the minutes, can you provide me that list of all the things that you guys are doing in this upcoming year? Is that possible?
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful.
Well, for the notes, Sarah is helping me a little bit taking the notes. We'll get you the information that Marcia just said for sure. Yep.
Hi, Sarah. I'll send you what I'm reading. It's in bullet points already.
That's perfect. And I just want to say I'm excited that you're doing the walking groups with those folks. I've been looking for kind of themes for each of our green line wanders. So you will hear from me because we can definitely tie that into some of our informational walks with the community. So thank you.
I think we'll see a theme tonight where so much of our work really overlaps multiple focus teams. So I think that's one example exactly of Travel Well and Age Well working together. Any questions from Marcia about Age Well? It's been meeting consistently, which has been one of our sustainability goals. Any other questions or thoughts? We can always come back also after. Yeah, Katie, go ahead. Can you? Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the Office for the Aging participating?
Yes. Office of the Aging is a very intrinsic partner in Age Well. Sue and her team actively participate in every meeting, and we talk about, you know, the offerings at the hub, as there are many, and Ulster County is As you know, such a big county and it's so rural, and Office of the Aging does tremendous work in looking at all of the far reaches like of the county, because there are so many services in Kingston, but the hub does offer some opportunities that folks who live like within the city may not be able to get to. We, like look to see what we can extrapolate and keep like closer within the city.
All right. I don't see anybody else waving to say, ask a question. Next up, I think will be Eat Well. Katie, you're on.
Okay.
Now's your chance.
Okay, so I'm Katie. I'm the chair of Eat Well, the Eat Well focus team. I've actually been doing this kind of since the inception. It's been like definitely pre-COVID. I don't even know how many years. So we've actually gotten into a pretty good groove. We have very regular meetings there every other month. So we meet 6 times a year. The next one is December 7th. They're always, this may change, but usually the first Wednesday of the month in the morning. And we do have pretty consistent participation. So we usually have around 15 to 20 participants. And the format we've kind of settled on is to have a presentation from, community member or an agency in Kingston or the area that's doing work in food or nutrition. Like 15 minutes, time for question and answer, and then just time for networking and sharing. And that works out pretty well. So we also do have an action plan that's pretty much about at the end of its life. So we need to revisit that. It was through 2022. And, the big focus in that action plan is really on communication between all the, I don't know if members is the right word, but the people that participate in the group, and also communicating outwardly, which is maybe not always as easy. But we have been kind of checking off boxes on the action plan. And we've had a couple of years to really hone down the action plan and make sure we're not being overly ambitious, because that definitely happened in the beginning. So some of the topics we've had presentations on in 2022. In February, we had Suzanne Flaum from the Farm and Food Pantry Collaborative. In April, we had the Siobhan from the Kingston Food Co-op. In June, we did an in-person visit, which I actually had to miss, and that was at the Farm Hub. I heard it was great. In August, we had SNAP-Ed Rescued Eats, which is a little bit different than SNAP-Ed. In October, we had Tamika from Seasoned Delicious. And then the next meeting, which is the 7th of December, we have Mara from Land to Learn. So she's the new educator in the Kingston schools. And that's all we have planned so far. The other thing we started was just a discussion on community kitchens, because it's something we've talked about on and off for years, and it was in the action plan. So it was Emily, me, and a couple of people from the Farm Hub that talked about like, what even is a community kitchen? What does that mean? Is it worthwhile to start to gather a list? So there's more to come on that, but it's something we're talking about. And just in general, it's kind of a valuable place for networking and sharing. The Ulster County Farm to School Working Group came out of this meeting in 2019. And that still meets fairly regularly. And also Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative kind of came out of that, communication network we had set up. So yeah, if anyone would like to be added to the email list to get meeting invites, can just email me. I have cards here. I only have a few. This is all I carry around with me. But if you probably have my email address, to be perfectly honest, but if you don't and you want it, there it is. So yeah, I think that's it.
One thing we haven't really talked about with Eatwell is that Eatwell is the only focus team that has a Google list, it has a list serve, so that any of the participants can email out to that group. And we don't really, I bring that up because the other focus teams don't really have it set up that way. And I think it's quite successful until someone replies all, but for the most part, it's really great.
Including me. Definitely have done that. Yeah, and I have that set up through Cornell. So yeah, I don't, like, but there's other ways to do it.
Yeah,
and
I'm just
it's
making a
easy.
note of it, that something to consider possibly, because communications might be a focus that we do for all of the focus teams in the next year. So I just want to point that out. Yeah. Any questions about Eat Well for Katie? Why don't we also mention that, like you mentioned, that the KEFC came out of Eat Well. I'll try to remember any updates that I have for KEFC. KEFC is the Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative. It started in COVID. It started with meal deliveries that came out of the Everett Hodge Community Center. It expanded to grocery delivery that was provided by People's Place and Catholic Charities. The grocery deliveries have stopped currently in this moment, where the KFC is looking for a new grocery partner. Meals continue. The KFC now has officially 3 staff members, which is a huge accomplishment for the group. And in 2023, it'll be fiscally sponsored. What's the name of the sponsor organization, Troyan?
We're actually, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're actually fiscally sponsored now by Open Collective Foundation, which is a fiscal sponsor of approximately 350 some odd collectives throughout the United States who are in very similar spaces, doing mutual aid, social justice, equity work, food, clothing, shelter, etc. And we're very excited about it. We spent a great deal of time talking about, should we become a 501c3 or should we be fiscally sponsored? And we decided to be fiscally sponsored, and it's allowing us to hire 3 full-time people who are currently contractors with us. It's allowing us to apply for grants. So Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative continues to grow and thrive.
So yeah, any questions about KFC, Eat Well? Anything else? Next up will be Grow Well. There's a little heads up for you, Cindy. I don't see anybody waving me down. All right. So yeah, thank you, Katie, for chairing since the beginning. You get a give you a badge for every year. Yeah.
Been a while.
All right. And so we'll go from one of our oldest focus teams to one of our newest, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I remember before I retired, I was getting, that was 5 years ago. I was getting emails about the meetings. I'm like, oh, someday I'll get there. So I'm Cindy Muro. I'm one of the members of Grow Well Kingston, which was also sort of started as a seed when the pandemic started. It was a conversation with a lot of different people in the community, a lot of people that worked for different not-for-profits in the community, about seeing what we could do to make urban gardening more accessible, and just pick up that ball. And I think we spent our first year talking a lot about how to form a form. And I do believe it was last fall that we were formally became a part of the Live Well umbrella. So we meet twice a month. We've only met once in person a couple weeks ago. It was the first time we met live in person, wasn't it?
The garden.
The garden tours. We did do a garden tour.
And you did have us over to your house once for cocktails. That was a bonus meeting.
That wasn't really a meeting.
That wasn't a meeting.
That was a party. So we meet twice a month, and then there's other like subcommittee groups that meet even on top of that. And currently, there's usually, I don't know, 6 to 8 people in our meeting, with various and sundry special guests dropping in to tell us about, networking things. So it's been really great for, connecting the dots as far as resources. It's been wonderful. So some of the things we've accomplished in this past year is we've sort of settled into supporting the existing community gardens with the needs and help and resources. The Barman Park Community Garden, which is on Greenkill Avenue, just across from the Boys and Girls Club, has been completely resurrected. It was a bit of a shambles, and now it's a shining star over there. We've got a rain collection roof, and we've got lots of new garden beds in there. And I garden there from spring till Thanksgiving with the Boys and Girls Club. So we're having a great time and getting lots of vegetables. We've also been supporting Round Out Gardens down on off 9W there, and they've had a lot of infrastructure things this year. Marsha was great at helping connect the Ulster Youth Build, and they built a shed, and they've got some new fences, and so people are starting to get what they need to grow some vegetables. We've also support the African burial ground gardens, which is in a process of, pulling together, but they got some new garden beds this year. The George Washington School, Montessori School, has a big community garden, which I've been the steward of since 2008, I think. So that one's sort of settled in. And Liberty Street Garden and South Pine Street Garden are all gardens that we are in communication with and do whatever we need to support if they need more gardeners or whatever. We also had a great opportunity to collaborate with Suni Newpaltz, the head of the Department of Geology there, Geography, I think he is doing and has done, like in different places in the world, testing for heavy metals and contamination in urban soils. So he's been able to offer, he's got a years-long program going on where they're testing, and then they're going to be testing the vegetable matter, and we are bringing that information back to the community and advising people of best practices. So it's one of the things that we also do with GrowWell is try to have some educational programs for the public. And let's see what else.
Can I jump in there and say that on the Live Well Kingston website, livewellkingston.org/GrowWell. So each focus team has their own page. And on the GrowWell page, we did some soil contamination education. So there's a post there about how to grow healthily.
Right.
And then we also are you going to mention the map?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So yes, so one of our other things that we're working on is outreach. So the website, the LiveWell website, has a bunch of good information on it, and we will continue to update that as pertinent things come in. But we also created this year a map of all of the community gardens in the Kingston city, or
including farm stock, which is just technically outside the city, but is a food producer.
So it has community gardens and also I think some pollinator gardens, other like whatever public gardens. And isn't there also like all the contact information? It is all included. So if you need to know about a particular garden, you can get right in there and find out who to call. And we also launched our Facebook there's a Grow Well Kingston Facebook page, which is good for communicating local things. We currently have about 144 members on that. Okay, so that's that. In this past year, we participated in urban soil study down at the Newburgh Urban Farm and Food Initiative, where we also got to have some free testing done of our soils. We had a grand opening for Barman Park this spring and gave away seeds and seedlings. We did a walking tour of the community gardens, mostly in the Midtown. It was quite a few gardens that we walked through in June. And then I think it was late June or early July, we had an hour-long radio program on Kingston radio about, the heavy metals in the soils to continue to educate people about that. And then our goals going forward are continuing recruitment. We're looking at the possibility of finding ways to compensate some of the garden stewards who do so much work in the community, just as a thank you to them so that they're able to continue on. And also look for, as the community gardens become, well bolstered, and if there's more need for, garden areas, we'll continue to branch out. And continue with educational things. And I'd just like to thank Emily and Marcia and Kristen for all their amazing support in keeping us up and running.
Aw, thank you. That's lovely.
That's, unless you can think of anything else.
When we do this kind of report, it's like, oh my God, we did a lot of stuff. It's a lot.
When you start out thinking, oh, I feel like all we do is talk and don't do anything, but we actually did do a lot of things.
Yeah. Any questions there?
Cindy, I just want to thank you for your dedication to Grow Well. You are amazing. And to all of the garden stewards who volunteer their time, just thank you.
And Maya, you were waving, you have a question?
Yeah, it sounds awesome. And I would love to see those gardens. Let's see, I didn't even know, that all of this was going on, which is why I'm glad I'm here. Just one question. Do you guys do flowers? And the second, is there any connection with any of the farmers markets in terms of the vegetables that you do grow?
I would say, well, most of the community gardens are people have their own individual plots. Maybe with the exception of South Pine Street, which I do believe they sell some vegetables at a stand right there on certain days at South Pine Street. But for the most part, the vegetables go to the people who grow them, and of course they can give them to whoever they give them to. And there are some flowers are incorporated. I know I have some people who grow flowers for medicinal purposes. So there's not it's not like flowers aren't allowed. There certainly are, and we do grow flowers for eating and for pollinator use. Yeah.
And one time I caught Cindy in action with the kids, and you were basically eating through the garden with them, the flowers and all the buds, and the kids were like, "Oh, this is spicy. Oh, this is sweet." And it was really lovely.
Love it. It's nice when you go back to the garden and they just go in and know what to do. That's awesome.
Great. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, thanks everybody. Next up is Heal Well. Teresa, do you want to bring us up to speed?
Yeah, I'm going to come over here just so I'm not just a weird voice off the side, and those who are remote can see somebody. Again, I'm Teresa Widman, and I think I failed to say that I use she, her pronouns. I have a lack of sleep brain. I chair Heal Well, and really with the assistance of Kristen and I kind of steer it. And we started out real strong this year, and now we're both new moms. And so we've sort of taken a little bit of a slowdown as the year goes on. But Heal Well, we meet every month, mostly. We skipped a couple months when we were in labor. And Susanna is a regular member. Katrina is a regular member. Emily, and we get a couple of others who show up, but we're kind of the hardcore members. And this year we sort of, I guess, unofficially thought mental health would be a focus for us. We have in the past focused on different things like trauma And a lot of what we have been trying to do is to create more awareness about taking better care of oneself, healing, and the work of Live Well Kingston as a whole. So it's trying to get out and do things that are public facing, in addition to the focus team meetings being a nice place for anyone who's in the health industry to kind of come together and share what's going on with their organization. And I believe I presented on the mental health panel that we did earlier in the year, but I'll just reiterate that we did one in May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we had panelists Gavin Walters, Keziah Pierce, Allie Decker from the Institute. Keziah is from the Ulster County Department of Mental Health. Gavin is from Veterans Association. And then Selena Pittman, who is in private practice. And so they were all panelists, and it was a really lovely conversation. I moderated it. It was a lot of fun. It is on the city's YouTube channel so that you can go back and revisit it if you would like to. Following up from that presentation, we did also do a mental health walk. It was a small group of us, but we enjoyed ourselves immensely. And we talked about maybe doing more of that. But that's when Kristen and I went into motherhood mode. And so we haven't followed up on that, but it's nice to hear some of the other groups are doing that. And I just want to actually just pause and say bravo to all of the focus teams. I think I've been the chair of Heal Well for a couple of years now, and this is like just very impressive what everyone is doing now. I feel really amazed by the efforts and all the accomplishments that everyone is doing. So we did our little walk, and right now we're at the point of thinking about what we want to do in the future, revisiting our action plan. I was not at the last meeting, but the subject came up. We had actually talked about collaborating with the holistic health community and People's Place to do an event there. I'm also a volunteer for the holistic health community, which for those of you, I don't know how much detail you shared about that, Marcia, but they do pop-up wellness clinics or regular wellness clinics, but then they do them also at People's Place. So we thought it would be nice to collaborate with them. We're into the collaboration at Heal Well. And so we had thought about doing something with them in December. That was very optimistic thinking on my part that I would have the bandwidth to coordinate that. So it's really wonderful that Age Well is partnering with the holistic health community to do a clinic. They do wonderful work, and they have some funding to be support their work outside of their regular monthly clinics. And so it's nice to help them find the locations and ways to collaborate in Kingston. So, you know, there's the possibility of thinking more about that in the future. We did also, I forgot to mention, which is just Trail and use the word ceremonial, and it's sort of ceremonial. We have participated in the O Positive Festival the past few years, which is largely just me doing my thing and under the umbrella of Heal Well to create more public awareness about Heal Well and Live Well and what everyone's doing here. So we did a really lovely outdoor sound bath that was in the grass outside of the Old Dutch Church, and there were Reiki practitioners walking around, and it was, if I do say so myself, just beautiful. And so we didn't have anyone from Heal Well tabling there this year. Last year, Emily was there tabling, but still it went on the O Positive calendar, their map, and their website that it was really sponsored by Heal Well Kingston. So our next plan is to figure out what we're going to do for next year. So we're either going to look at that in December at our next meeting, or in January to revisit our action plan and think of what we want to do in 2023. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of it. So I'm looking around for any questions for Heal Well. Yeah, Marcia, go right ahead.
I just have a comment that the panel that was held earlier this year was phenomenal. It was amazing. It was, the content was, it was so great. And people who participated were just so sincere and so it was just a lovely thing to behold. I hope that Heal Well can do another one in 2023. I just thought that that was powerful and the panelists were fantastic. Kudos.
Thank you, Marsha. Yeah, it really was impressive, the amount of wisdom we have in our community. The panelists were very, very helpful, I thought, and just passionate about their practice, about mental health. And so likewise, yeah, thank you.
Any questions? I'm looking at Zoom. I don't see anybody waving me down. All right. Yeah, we're moving right along. Thank you, Teresa. Next up will be Play Well and then Travel Well. Marsha, do you want to do Play Well? I still don't see anybody waving me down, so let's move on to Play Well.
Okay, so I feel like I just presented on Play Well.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, Commissioner. I'm going to keep it short. Let's see. Play Well last met in 2020 during the pandemic. That was before my time, but Play Well was able to achieve like many things during that time of COVID, including coordinating a day of play among at least 6 local organizations across Kingston, and also installing chess tables at TR Gallo Park with some funding from AARP to do some intergenerational work. I am currently putting the July 2021 action plan to bed with updating it with all of the fine work that Play Well accomplished. Some of the members are folks right here in this room, and starting to construct a new action plan for 2023. So as the new project manager in health and wellness, I've been tasked to resurrecting Play Well, and I've done some work outreaching to former members and also building a coalition for new Play Well. So I've in addition to reaching out to former members, I have done my work in just building some new relationships and approaching Play Well, outreaching to avid park users and maybe some organizations that were not reflected in the former Play Well. So I'm very happy to say I can confirm that at this meeting that our first Play Well focus team meeting for this year will be on Friday, December 2nd at 2 p.m. I just want to say that, the folks I've been reaching out to engage some new individuals in groups include avid users of Kingston parks, organizations without a recreation component that serve children, youth, and adults with disabilities, active seniors, local churches, and martial arts clubs and schools. Opportunities for the coming year will include doing some communication work to the public on alternative walking routes and spaces for recreation during the 2023 reconstruction of Deet Stadium, which will go into which will not be accessible during that time. Continuing to promote usage of public parks and recreation programs, but to medical and behavioral health providers, organizations and families caring for individuals with disabilities. Also look to get some corporate sponsorship. That's going to be something that we hope to do. and piloting programs through some collaborative events. So I'm really excited about the December meeting, and I just want to share with you some profiles of folks I've been talking to who are taking a chance to participate in this collective, who are excited about it. Co-founders of Martial Arts Society that I belong to. A salsa choreographer, also an avid park user. Entrepreneurs, active seniors, very avid park users, Cornell Cooperative Extension, their 4-H program lead, foster care family specialists, 2 organizations for adults with disabilities, program staff at the Center for Creative Education, and a local pediatric occupational therapist. And I really wanting to guide this team in looking at using public parks and open spaces to outreach to individuals and families who may not already be connected with. I mean, we have excellent options for recreation programs in the city of Kingston between the YMCA and My Kingston Kids and Boys and Girls Club. You know, we do have some fantastic cadre of options. And so we also want to elevate those opportunities to people who may not already be engaged in that, and look at how we can increase access for folks of all abilities. So I'm excited about Play Well. There any questions?
And I guess I want to say that you've been taking a bunch of webinars, and you like get off. So Marshall will get off the webinar. She's like, Emily, I gotta tell you what I just learned. So I think you are excited about that work. Any questions about Play Well? Yeah, we're chugging along. Oh yeah, good. Maya, go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't know how familiar you all are with New Vance Health. You know, it's New Vance, which is Vassar Hospital, Northern Dutchess Hospital. And our, like the main location is Connecticut, and then they took Health Quest over. So I was just talking with them, you know, and they don't have a great presence in this area. So they were talking about wanting to be more involved, New Vance Health themselves. So when you're talking about corporate sponsorships, I would love to be able to connect you, like any of you possibly, because you know, I can't even believe I'm speaking for New Vance, but like we're not in the community the way that we could be, you know. So you know, you had just mentioned that idea, so I'd like to try to, you know, bridge that gap.
Yeah, thank you. So Maya, that's a hot tip. I think you're sort of saying that you want to possibly connect New Vance to the community and could be a potential sponsor for some activities. And also,
Yeah.
I think Maya, you're just saying you want all the organizations to potentially have a connection to New Vance.
I think it would be a possibility, and New Vance really needs to do this. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Any other hot tips on corporate sponsors? We'll take it now or anytime. Yeah. Any other questions about Play Well? So that's you know, the folks team that's trying to encourage physical activity. That's a bucket that I look at, sort of how we support Parks and Rec and systems change around access to public spaces. So that's, as you sort of see with our focus team, sometimes in our department we get work, and usually they fit in one of those buckets. So also is some of the work that we just get to do with Parks and Rec, for example, like we helped them with the disc golf one year, and we did their environmental fair in the spring. We helped them. Not that it has to fit in those boxes, but we sort of like, okay, that's in our Play Well work. I don't see anybody waving me down for any other questions. Next up will be travel. Well, hey, Sarah, I didn't ask you to present. So how about I talk a little bit and then you tell me if I forgot anything? Does that sound good?
I've got a list, so
Oh, you do want to go? Or do you want?
I'll go. How about we do the opposite? It's up to you. Either way, you tell me.
I just want people to be able to hear you and I don't know how to amplify your voice.
Okay. I can get the mic a little closer to me. I'm talking pretty loud and I have a really good mic, so hopefully. Is that
yeah,
better?
You can, I think that's better. And you can, and yeah.
I'll lean
project. Yeah, lean in, Sarah.
I'll lean in and I'll project. I can't really pull it much further than this. It's my boom mic. It's my fancy mic. Is that good? Does that work?
I think it's going to be as good as it's going to get. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the Travel Well focus group has been a little bit of a slow start. So we're not as cool and we don't have the numbers of the other focus groups on how often we've met. However, we've got some renewed energy under it. Scheduling has been a little bit tough just with, with that focus group meeting. That focus group is comprised of 3, and Emily's going to correct me if I'm wrong. The Complete Streets Advisory kind of, street work stuff, which does include zoning and other topics like that. The Bike Friendly Kingston and the Kingston Green Line. So those 3 kind of areas are now tucked under. So it's like groups underneath that Travel Well focus group. So wrapping that all together, I've got a new goal and a new mission that's been presented to me to kind of really get that going. So within that, I do have some Kingston Green Line milestones that happened this year. We did the ribbon cutting for the Midtown Linear Park, which was incredible. There was a Complete Streets ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago that I was not able to attend because I was in snowy Alaska. However, I heard it went really well and I saw some great photos from it. We have revamped the Weekend Wanderers. We've only done one, but we're hoping to have some themes on those to get us moving around the city, to connect all these different parts of the focus group. So doing a wander in the Midtown Linear Park versus doing it at the Kingston Point Trail versus doing it maybe at the new scenic Hudson State Park, Sojourner Truth Park, which the Brickyard Trail goes through there. So I've been collecting and making and having conversations with a bunch of folks that can kind of theme that out. I heard some ideas from Marcia today, so look for that email soon, my dear. But, someone to do some birding in the winter. That's a great winter walk. We've got someone, I have a new connection with the new kind of land steward over at Sojourner Truth from Scenic Hudson who's interested in helping. The Kingston Land Trust recently opened up their forest sanctuary off of Grove Street, which is connected right there by JFK Elementary. So folks are interested in potentially Greg and team are potentially interested in doing one of the wanders with us for that. I reached out to the folks at the Bee Habitat right there to tell us what they're going to do maybe as a spring walk. The Rare Center is really excited to kind of be at the end of one of our walks to kind of tie two tours together, maybe the Kingston Point Trail, then going over to the museum to kind of see what's happening. That's a really cool thing if you haven't done that yet. We're going to schedule some cleanups. We might do one fall cleanup, just some, trash walk kind of thing. And then we're going to focus a little bit more in on some spring cleaning when spring happens, because we haven't done a good clean sweep. The pandemic kind of slowed us down there. So we've done a couple, but not as many as we like to do. So our goal is to kind of meet more regularly. I'm hoping monthly as the focus group to be able to report up and really get some volunteers. I've talked to a couple business owners. They want to participate that are along the Green Line corridor, as well as the Complete Streets corridors. So we're getting some energy and folks interested, and I'm thinking of the winter as kind of more planning time. So that's my high level overview. Did I miss anything?
No, that sounds right. I think that you got everything for the focus team. I have a bunch of my work fits under the Travel Well category that I'd like to mention now. And I also have handouts, which is exciting. I always like to bring things to give out. So also, what else? There was something else there I wanted to mention. What was it? So if you guys don't mind passing that out. So as Sarah mentioned, we have our Travel Well focus team, which brings together those 3 groups: Bike Friendly Kingston, Complete Streets, and the Green Line Committee. I guess I also want to mention that the Complete Streets Advisory Council, which is another commission for the city, seems to be getting a new wind of life. There's new people on the board. There's a lot more talk about a few different potential transportation projects. The Common Council is interested in reducing the speed limit, for example. I think there has to be a lot more study before that happens, but that's a discussion that was just asked of the Complete Streets to weigh in on, for example. Ongoing conversations in that group is also about sidewalks. How do we improve them? Very large discussion there. So I wanted to bring up some work that I get to do. This group, I think, has heard me talk multiple times about the bike ped master plan. A quick update is that a draft of the plan has been created and given to city staff to review. So city staff just gave their first round of comments about it and sent it back to the consultant. We'll get another draft from them, and then we'll be able to give that to our public advisory committee to review. And then finally, we'll present it to the public. So this project has been going on much longer than we thought it would be, but it's worth the wait, I promise you. So bike ped master plan still coming. In your hand is a site we're calling, is the information about the Be a Road Hero Transportation Education Campaign. This was a series, that's the marketing campaign, is called Be a Road Hero. There was a series of channels that it went out in. What you're looking at in the 8.5 by 11 is the content that is on engagekingston.com. That's also, by the way, the place where you can find out all of the city's projects if you go to Engage Kingston. This is an attempt to educate drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists about general traffic safety and specifically how to use the new Broadway streetscape. If you're all familiar, there's a two-way cycle track now. It's a whole new configuration. So education needed to be done specifically about that project. The other channels that it went out in, it was social media, bus ads, and then this citation flyer, which is hot off the presses, which the city's police department will use as an education piece. So it looks a little scary, right? The idea is that if they catch someone parking in the bike lane, that they would leave this on their car, check it off that you've done something wrong, but there's no ticket. It drives to the page that has this more information on it. So it's really, it's somewhere between education and enforcement. Which seems to be a key component, I think, in transportation. Oh, there's so much more, but I'm going to forget half of it. As part of our CHISC work, I'm looking at Kristen on Zoom, we were able to do a lot of transportation support. So we bought 38 bike racks. Kristen, I have not pushed that project forward. Please forgive me. So we will look to figure out a way to install them around the city of Kingston, but that project is sort of on pause while Kristen's away from us. What else is going on? Education. There's more, but I'm blanking. Oh, you got a question, Trail? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 5:18. We've got 15 more minutes. Yeah. So, and we're coming to a close here, I think, about the focus teams. On Zoom, you can't all see it, but there's a baby on Zoom right now. So everyone's, yeah. Susanna, I'm sorry, can you talk in the mic?
Sorry?
Can you say it in the mic?
Oh, sorry. This is a lot of information to follow on this. Have you guys thought about doing like little videos and
Videos, is that what
Yeah.
you said? Yeah, so there are videos.
Oh, there are, great.
Yeah, so where this live stream lives on the City of Kingston's YouTube, there's 4 videos. No, 3 or 4, I don't remember. One is specifically how to use the bike lane, and the 2 others I think are more general education, transportation education. Those were posted on social media as well.
Great.
Yeah, did you have more questions there? No. So what's up? Thank you. Yeah. So there's a lot more there. Clearly the transportation is my passion. You know, Marcia's starting to dive into play well and age well. And that means that I get more time to work on the travel well part. The one section that we didn't really talk about, and maybe commission, this is something for us to help envision when we start to look at our action plan, is communications. Part of our goal here with this work is how to communicate between agencies, how to communicate with the outside world. I forget who mentioned it. Oh, I think it was Maya. You said you didn't know about our community gardens. I think that communications is a part that which is ironic since I come from a communications background. So that's a goal I think I'd really like every year. I think I'm like, next year is going to be the year of communications, but next year I really would like to try to focus on it more. But the time is moving past so last call for questions. Otherwise, we'll finish our focus team round robin. So
May I make a comment?
yeah, of course.
I just want to thank everybody who is working on the various focus teams for doing this work. It may seem like it's talking and meeting and thinking, but I do believe, given the reports you've given here this evening, you're doing a lot more than that. And you're doing it kind of quietly, but effectively. So I just want to thank you all of your groups.
Thank you so much. That's lovely. So you usually, I want to keep on the agenda, but I'm going to actually suggest usually at our meetings, we do we call Stacy's stretch break. Our previous commissioner, Stacy from the Department of Health, initiated this. So usually we would get up and kind of embarrass ourselves on live stream and stretch, but let's try because time is slipping away, I want to leave just a little bit of time for any announcements or communications. So that's a prompt in your head. If there's any events, any kind of job openings, anything that you want to announce from your agencies, we'll do that in just a moment. But I do just want to mention in old business that we do have the 2022 draft action plan. I'm going to suggest that maybe in January, the commission reviews that and updates that for next year. So let's not go into that now. And then last month, Ellie Garnstein from the Office of Sustainability came to the commission with a draft ordinance for an e-bike share and scooter share. There's a link to it in our notes, or I can send it out in our recap email. She's looking for feedback. So now would be the time to give any feedback on that ordinance before it progresses to the Common Council for potential approval. So reminder about that. Nobody's waving me down, then we'll go to announcements and communications. Does anybody have anything from their agencies that they'd like to bring up? Yeah, Marsha.
On Saturday, December 3rd, the YW is going to host a winter well event. I believe it's from 11 to 3 in Livewell, Kingston. I'll be tabling there. So if you're in the neighborhood, come on by.
Just an FYI, it's 12 to 3. You might have to get there at 11 to set up.
12 to 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
All good.
Heidi, you're moving your mic. Do you have some?
Yeah, just mention that we have our annual reindeer ramble on Sunday, December 4th. You can either take the race really seriously, or you can dress up as a centipede or whatever and either run it or walk it at your leisure. It's through the nice hilly neighborhoods behind the YMCA, which make it really interesting. So,
holiday attire recommended?
Yeah, there's actually prizes for the best dressed runners. So,
and centipedes, right? Don't
yes,
people work
centipedes.
together?
Yeah, it can be anything. It could be a menorah, it could be reindeer, whatever you want. So
that's really fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Yeah.
On the 30th of this month, from 6 to 8 p.m. at CCE, we're holding a Youth and Parent Expo. It's an opportunity for young people and their families to engage with service providers, mental health, and other supportive services. Tara's going to be there to do a mindfulness practice. Drew's going to do his dance thing. Leah Gooch, who some of you may know, is going to be doing like a yoga and self-expression, and we're going to have an awesome dinner from Season Delicious. So we're really looking forward to that. We're giving gift cards to the first 25 parents and 40 kids. So spread the word and feel free to stop by. We'll have tabling. Folks want to bring information, that kind of thing.
Which CCE is it?
Right. The Center for Creative Education. When Cornell comes up, I'm always like, CCE.
Vicky, yeah, go ahead.
So on Thursday, December 1st, Gateway is catering another Office for the Aging holiday luncheon. This one is at the Rosendale Community Center on 32 in Rosendale. seniors, they just need to be 60 years of age or older and an Ulster County resident to participate, and they just need to call Ulster County Office for the Aging to make a reservation.
That's awesome. Eric, I see you going for your mic.
Well, this time of year, the Salvation Army has our red kettles out. And as of this Saturday, we'll be going out in full force. While we would love to have as many volunteers as possible, sign up at savolunteers.org for any of the locations around Ulster County. We also are hiring individuals who might need seasonal work to help collect as well. So while we do heavily rely on volunteers, there are a few paid folks that go out and ring the bell. And if you know anyone who's looking for a job until December 24th, we'd be happy to take a quick look and interview them and see about getting them out there. Just a reminder, it's cold.
Anybody else? Yeah, Kristen, go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted to share, I mean, Emily, you know this, but for folks that I work with, I will be coming back on December 1st. Also, this is Walter Finn. And we pretty much have decided, well, I've decided on calling him Finn. So hi, everybody. He has to join these community meetings. I told him this is going to be his life, so getting him started early. But I will be coming back on December 1st, and so I look forward to starting to work with everyone again. And to mention, I didn't mention before, I think there's some new folks here actually. So I am the project manager for a program called Creating Healthy Schools and Communities, and it's a policy, systems, and environmental change program. And I feel like I'm always plugging this, but when I get back, I'll be working on our food service guidelines project, which is working with sites that have food venues who are interested in support in having more nutritious items by creating a nutrition policy. And then we have a little bit of financial funding. So whether that's a food pantry, I don't know if there is one that's open with Salvation Army. If, you know, Eric and I want to connect whenever I get back, or if you've got any way that you distribute or sell food. We worked with the Y, we worked with Heidi to help with their vending machines and put in some water fill stations. I would love to be able to chat with you. So you get technical assistance from me around like 9 to 12 months of my time, as well as a little bit of funding to purchase equipment. And that's it. And then just wanted to say hi.
Nice to see you, Finn. Thanks for joining us. Sarah, yeah, I see you, Evan. Go for it.
Hi, friends. Okay. We have our second Sunday is what we kind of nailed down as our green line wanders. And our next one is December 11th at 10 a.m. I believe if I can't get Scenic Hudson to do the Brickyard Trail that month, which I think they might. So it's TBD on the theme and where. If not, we're going to maybe head up and do the Kingston Point Trail. So where is TBD, but that's that. And then not less of a community thing, but more of a fundraiser, the Kingston Land Trust fall winter fundraiser. We haven't had an in-person fundraiser in a couple of years, is on December 8th. And that shall be a fun time as well. And for a good cause, you can hear what's going on with that group. So those are the two things from me.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Anyone else on Zoom? Malia, Maya, Tara? I see head shake nods. No. Okay. You did just remind me that there's the Snowflake Festival, December, what is it, Heidi, 6th, 4th? It's the first Friday of December.
It's the
Second, thank you. It takes a village here. I'll be helping Tom Polk fitting helmets for the bike raffle that they do every year. And that's always a lovely event to get out and be festive. Oh, the bikes will be out in front. Is that what you just said? Yeah. Oh, in front of the parade. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right. So last call for announcements and communications. If everybody wants to say anything, then if not, I will call your attention to our next meeting. Will be December 21st from 4 to 21st. Well, if that's a busy time for the year, we'll have to talk on email if we want to meet. So that 21st, that doesn't look right. Susanna's nodding her head no. So I'm not sure what the date is, but anyway, look for the December meeting. I always send out. Is it Wednesday, December 1st? Okay. that feels really late in the month to me, and I just had a little freak out because that's like the end of the year. So I always send out a meeting reminder, which I'll do. And so that's coming up. And do we need to do a motion to adjourn, Troy Allen? Why? Oh, we're going to go into executive. Yes, we will. Okay. So I will hear a motion to adjourn into executive session. Thank you, Heidi. A second. Katrina, thank you. So we're going to thank our guests. Thanks everyone for coming. And I'm going to stop our live stream. And so we'll just have a few minutes and then commissioners, stay with me. Okay. Thank you everybody on Zoom. It was really great to see you remotely. Babies are always welcome. Yeah, Malia, do you mind staying on for us?
Yeah, I'll stay on too.
You got another minute? Okay.
Thank you, Emily. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Ray.